Formative assessment develops and strengthens teaching, as discussed in the book 7 Strategies of Assessment for Learning. But I want to dive deeper into Chapter 7. Strategy 7. Provide students the opportunity to track, reflect on, and share their learning progress. So incremental success leads to incremental growth in students' confidence in their capabilities as learners, which promotes greater effort, which in then turn leads to higher achievement. When students track their progress and regularly think about their growth, they pay closer attention to their learning. We then get metacognition, thinking about thinking. We want the students to be focused on what they are learning and how they can reflect upon it. Students need to see a clear vision of where they are in the learning process and where they are headed. Students must engage in self-monitoring activities and be making gains along the way. They explain that learning takes place on 2 different levels. Students must keep track of their own learning. Tracking learning helps students link effort with improvement. Without that link, motivation dries up. The main purpose of tracking is helping students celebrate what they have, having moved in a positive direction. There are 3 tracking options described. First, we have recording information from assignments and assessments. These are 2 examples taken from the book about tracking assessment. The second option is keeping learning journals. The 2 options are the dialogue journal and a learning log. The dialogue journal is a conversation about learning between students and the teacher. The learning log is used similarly, but these students are keeping their record of everything they do and focus on their study. Collecting evidence in a portfolio. Portfolios are well thought out and are organized, and they help to strengthen the sense of responsibility in learning. They are evidence of learning. Artifacts should be dated and have a learning target attached to each of them. This is the types of portfolios you could have: growth, project, achievement, competence, celebration. This was also taken from the book. It also shows you the artifacts to collect based on the purpose of the portfolio. When you track progress, it should not be set up as a competition against each other. Comparisons, as described in the book, should only be made to their own previous status. Portfolios especially do not want to be put in the category that they must have satisfied someone else. Students reflecting on growth. When students reflect on growth, they compare what they used to know or do to what they know now or can do, a process that is more successful than they have made the learning targets clear along the way. Students must state how they have changed in their growth and use evidence. These are some examples of how you can reflect on your learning. Older students can write essays, and younger students may even draw some. They may be teacher prompted as well. When students are reflecting on a project, challenging projects can create self-awareness and metacognition, documentation of each of the steps, and the reflection of the effectiveness project. This always reminded me of the engineering design process when you reflect and you redesign. Students reflecting on achievement. Students use a completed tracking form or other collection of work to determine what their strengths are and what they have, if anything, they need to focus on. The evidence must be plenty and accurate. Teachers may use guided questions as well. Students must share their learning along the way with an adult. Here are some of the weekly reflections that were outlined in the book that you could use in your classroom as well. As you can see, a lot of these are teacher prompted. This is an example of students reflecting on their self as a learner. This is a reflection over a period of 9 weeks taken from the book. It is an example of how it could be used in a classroom, and it allows the student to reflect on multiple aspects. Students must share their learning. They can share by writing or by conferencing. These conversations lead parents to developing high expectations for their children. Parents become better equipped to support the learning at home. Parents believe their child can do more in school, and then in turn, their children expect more as well. Students can write notes, letters, journal entries to their parents or to other adults at home. It can share something that they have mastered, they have learned, or something they still need to work on. It can be over a process of a week, a unit, a lesson. They can be the teacher created or student created. You can share in a conference as well. These can be student-teacher conferences, they can be teacher-parent-student conferences, and they are also very powerful when they are student-led. This is done when the reflection and the tracking has been done. In conclusion, teaching, assessing, and learning come together in a group of 3 nicely if they're all done in unison and they balance off of each other. Thank you.